If you've been scrolling through endless rows of mixers and headphones, wondering whether the bundle you see will actually fit into the cramped corner of your home studio, you're not alone. Most of us have stared at a spec sheet, imagined a perfect signal chain, and then backed away because the risk of ending up with gear that sits untouched is too real. That hesitation is what this review is built to dissolve, so you can walk away with a clear sense of whether the TASCAM Model 24 and TH02B headphones belong on your desk or not. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why a combo like this even makes sense. The Model 24 isn't just a mixer, it doubles as an audio interface, meaning you can route every mic, instrument, or line source straight into your computer without a separate box cluttering your workspace. Pair that with the TH02B closed-back headphones, and you have a portable monitoring solution that can double as a reference pair for mixing or a quick check for live recordings. The promise is obvious: fewer cables, less gear to manage, and a unified workflow that scales from a bedroom project to a small band live gig. Who should actually consider this bundle? If you're a songwriter or podcaster who records vocals and acoustic instruments on a regular basis, the 16 TASCAM mic preamps give you enough headroom to capture clean signals without hunting for an external preamp rack. The mixer's familiar EQ knobs let you shape each channel on the fly, which is a lifesaver when you're doing a quick voiceover and need that punchy high-mid without diving into software plugins. Likewise, if you run a small rehearsal space and need a sturdy board that can handle a drum kit, a keyboard, a couple of guitars, and still feed a PC for multi-track recording, the Model 24 slots everything in without turning the rack into a tangled mess. On the flip side, if you're a producer whose studio already runs on high-end analog gear, or you're looking for a dedicated, audiophile-grade headphone that will reveal every nuance in a master, the TH02B might feel a step down. The headphones are dynamic and closed back, which means they excel at isolation and provide a solid bass foundation, but they won't give you the same airy detail you'd get from an open-back reference model. Also, anyone who expects a full-size, permanently mounted console might find the Model 24's foldable chassis a little too compact for a permanent install. It's designed for portability, not for sitting under a desk forever. Now, let's dig into the everyday experience of using this combo. I set up the Model 24 in a modest bedroom with a condenser mic for vocal tracking, a Shure SM57 for an electric guitar amp, and a line-level input from a laptop playing backing tracks. The moment I hit record in my DAW, the mixer's USB interface locked in with zero latency, and the 16 preamps held the gain stages cleanly even when the guitar was cranked to full distortion. What impressed me most was the way the EQ section behaved. The low-mid sweep on the vocal channel actually let me tame a boominess that would have taken 3 plugins to fix later. When it came time to listen back, the TH02B delivered a tight low end that let me feel the kick drum, while the mid stayed clear enough to spot any harshness in the vocals. In a quick test, I moved the headphones from the mix desk to a small rehearsal room and the isolation held up, meaning the band could play at moderate volume without leaking into my headphones. That said, there are a couple of practical quirks worth noting. The auxiliary sends are fully functional, but they're a bit shallow compared to a dedicated monitor controller. You'll need to be mindful of levels if you're feeding external effects pedals. Also, because the mixer packs a lot of connectivity into a compact footprint, the front panel knobs can feel a little cramped when you have multiple hands adjusting different channels simultaneously. It's not a deal breaker, but it does mean you'll want a tidy signal path and maybe a little extra elbow room when you're doing a full band mix. Another hidden trade-off is the headphone cable itself. The TH02B comes with a coiled, detachable cable that's great for storage and reduces clutter on a small desk. However, the coil can occasionally catch on the mixer's side panel if you're not careful, which can lead to a momentary disconnect. Swapping to a straight-run cable resolves the issue, but it's an extra step that casual users might overlook. From a value standpoint, the bundle shines because it bundles 2 core pieces of a recording chain that most home studios end up buying separately. Individually, a 16-channel mixer with a built-in audio interface can easily run above $500, while a decent closed-back headphone sits in the $80-$120 range. TASCAM's pricing brings the total down to a figure that feels like a discount on 2 separate purchases, especially when you factor in the time saved not having to hunt for a compatible interface. The real savings, however,